Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to play this game Cash Flow from Rich Dad Poor Dad because I think it's quite important to learn how to manage your financials. And this game is a pretty good teacher of how to manage your financials. So it's my turn, so I'll go ahead and roll. I'm playing this with one other player, Lamb. And the reason I decided to start recording is because he's playing reasonably fast. So I don't really have any assets to sell here, so I'm just going to click done. So while he plays his turn, let's start looking at this financial statement here. I'm a mechanic with a $2,000 salary. Let me go ahead and roll here. So I'm not going to pay any of these loans back, and I'll explain in a second why. So all of these loans, if you look at them, let's say I have a car loan of $3,000, and my car loan payment is only $60 here. So that's way less than 10%. And I don't like paying off loans which are at cheap interest rates because I would rather keep the cash and use the cash to get more money and find deals. So I'll make minimum payments so my credit stays good, but I won't necessarily try to pay off any loans with low interests. Since I only have $2,800 in cash, I'm looking for small deals. Now, for this one, I have to pay $5,000 down payment, and I have $2,000 in cash. It increased my cash flow by $220, so that's a good deal. So I'm gonna take the $3,000 loan here and buy that. And now my cash flow is $640, but I can make that go away in just, one payment of $1,000 to the bank. And in this game, the bank loans me $1,000 increments at 10% each. So that's why it's a good idea to not pay any of the loans which are at smaller interests. So here's another small deal. The cost is at the high end of the range for this stock, so I'll pass on it. And so if we're looking here, now this $3,000 loan is costing me $300 each month, and this $3,000 is only costing me $60 each month. So as you can see, that's a 5 times difference, or that other one is 2% and this one's 10%. Alright, well, I found a condo buyer, so this condo that I bought by taking out a loan, already I can sell it and make, 10 grand off of it, so that's a good deal. And I'm done with selling condos, but I'll go ahead and repay this $3,000 loan here, which is costing me $300 every month. So now that I pay that off, my payday is back to $720. I lose the $220 cash flow from that, but I now have $9,000 in cash to play with. So let's see here. I'm not going to repay any of those. I have $9,000 in cash. I'll keep it and continue looking for deals. And so now it's this guy's turn. Now it's my turn. And I roll a 2. I don't have any houses to sell, so I'm done with my turn here. And let's continue looking at this financial statement a little bit more. So there's my income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. My income is only my salary right now. There's no other income, which is pretty typical for anybody with a job. And let's continue looking for some deals. Do I want to start a part-time company? There's no cash flow from it yet. It costs $5,000. Why not? Let's go ahead and buy a company. So it's just burning $5,000 in cash at this point with no actual income from it. But if we get lucky and somebody decides to buy our company or it grows, then we might make something. So here we roll. We get our $720 and we'll look for another small deal. Now this is on the lower end of the range, so we'll go ahead and buy it, and we're gonna actually go ahead and overspend because the bank gives us lots of credit in this game to buy whatever we want. We're gonna spend $100,000 to buy 10,000 shares, and that's gonna make our cash flow go negative. But since we have so much borrowing capacity in this game, we're basically gonna go ahead and borrow enough to get out of our payday losses. And we're gonna end our turn. So the thing is, if we get lucky at any point in time and we're able to sell this, we're gonna make a fortune out of this, and we're basically using our credit to make this fortune. And it's not really a gamble because in this game the price never truly goes away. And I'm gonna look for another small deal because now I'm trying to sell stuff. I'll go ahead and give my friend some loans, whatever. Real life maybe not, but it's a game. And let's go ahead and borrow some cash so we have enough for our payday. And as you can see, we now are basically running negative. We have negative $11,480. We have a $12,200 loan payment because we have $122,000 of loan at a high 10% interest rate. And we're banking on these 10,000 shares that we have. And now we also have to pay another $13,000 because we got downsized. So we'll go ahead and pay those. We're gonna borrow to basically be able to meet our payday. Let's borrow $13,000. And we're gonna go ahead and end here. And we're gonna lose 2 turns, which kind of sucks, but that's alright. We actually don't want to cross paydays anyway as of right now. That's an okay for you. We haven't on to you. Alright. So at this point we have a software startup, some gold, and 10,000 shares. So a bunch of assets which kind of don't look like anything at this point in time. And we have a whole bunch of liabilities, most of which we're not paying off right now. Okay. So our opponent found a house buyer, which we don't really care about. Let me go ahead and roll. And, okay. And we'll go ahead and pay that, and then we're going to go ahead and borrow to make sure that we have more cash than our payday. We'll borrow $14,000. And now it's our turn again. And we're going to borrow again to keep our payday costs in cash. And as you can see, our loans are just starting to pile up. We're now at $165,000 in loans with a $16,500 loan payment. But that's alright because we can continue to borrow in this game. It's so small. And here we go. So now we found a selling point. So we're going to sell all our shares, and we're going to sell them for $300,000. we're going to repay this $165,000 that we had borrowed. Let's pay that off. And look at that, we're now left with $152,000 in cash. And now our opponent is probably gonna take a long time before he can hit that much in cash on his own without some really great deals or something. And we got our $720 paycheck, which isn't too meaningful. And now we can go for some big deals. And we'll go ahead and... This is a negative cash flow in an expensive house, so we'll just go ahead and pass it. It's just a pointless deal, but we'll look for other big deals as we go and try to now work on increasing our passive income above our total expenses, because now we have a bunch of cash to work with. So, you know, your first goal is to kind of try to get a bunch of cash, and your next goal is to use that cash to bring your passive income above your total expenses. So, unfortunately, we got downsized again. We pay our expenses and we will lose 2 turns. But we have sufficient cash to, you know, just pay things off. So, you know, we now have some business and some gold, which isn't that meaningful. But it doesn't matter, our turn is skipped. We can pay off all these loans, but like I said, we don't really want to. In fact, when we go on this outer circle of being rich here, we are going to actually want more passive income than just this 1,280. So we're actually probably going to end up borrowing to make sure we don't actually increase our passive income above our expenses before we get to about a little over 3,000 in total expenses, or you know, a little over 3,000 in passive income, because that makes our journey in the rich life much more comfortable. So we get our $720 paycheck still. People might wonder why we still have a job if we have so much cash, but you know, we do. And it's usually a good thing anyway, because that's 150,000 is really our gambling money, whereas the 720 is just a stable paycheck. And here we have certificates of deposits. They cost 4,000 each. So how many can I buy? For 40,000, maybe I can buy 10 of them. It's not really worth it. It'll only give us $200 in cash for every 40,000. So for 160,000, that will only give me 800 in cash flow. So that's a bad idea. And let's look for another big deal. Let's see what we can get. For $12,000, we can get 400 in cash flow, which is much better than what we were getting otherwise. Getting 800 in cash flow from 160,000, so that's a good deal. So we took that one and we got 400 in passive income now. And let's go ahead and end our turn. And we'll look for some more big deals in order to exceed our real goal of having at least 3,000 in passive income, even though we only need 1,280 to actually move to the big circle. So now, alright, we're going to go ahead and donate. Why not? It gives us extra rolls if we donate money. We can pass more paydays, even though our payday is only 720 and we don't really care about the money that much at this point, since we have sufficient cash. But we're going to roll 2. And we have a baby, so our passive income goes down by 110. Or rather, our expenses go up by 110, which is good. We want to cross 3,000 in expenses anyway. Because we want to get out of this small circle of rich and not poor. So again, we're going to pass on this one. We're going to roll 2 dice. let's look for another big deal. And this one gives us $30,000 down payment, $2,500 in cash flow. We're just under 3,000. We have sufficient cash, so let's go ahead and borrow some money just to increase our expenses so that we don't get out of the inner circle just yet. So, okay, let's increase it by another 10,000, 11, 12,000. Alright, that's a good number. So, even though technically we have already escaped our routine lifestyle, we're not going to escape it just yet and increase our expenses just so we get a chance to force our passive income a little higher than the $3,000 mark. And so we'll go ahead and get 11 here, and we'll go ahead and donate again, why not? So if your cash flow or your payday is, greater than 0, you should donate. If it's negative, then you shouldn't, because you don't really want to roll 2 dice and cross more paydays. So now we have 3 and 3, 6. We have to pay for a water heater. Okay. Yeah, paying $450 for a water heater, not meaningful. This is a great deal here because the range is $5 to $40 on this stock, and it's only costing him $1. If I got this deal, I would have bought like 10,000 early on when I was in the small circle. He paid 9,000, so he actually bought 9,000 of it, which is pretty decent. That deal will help him escape and get a lot of cash as well in time, but hopefully that means we're going to want to escape soon so that he doesn't get too much chance to catch up to us. So for that reason, let's go ahead and just repay everything here so that we can escape. And we'll be out of here in this turn while he looks to find a way to sell his $1 stock, the 9,000 stocks that he just bought. And we'll get a head start on our outer cash flow lane. We're not too bad away from 3,000. We're at 2,900, so it's okay. And so we escaped the rat race. And here we go. So we have 4 and 4. We're going to go ahead and buy this heating and AC service. We had to pay for a water heater earlier, but now we own the company. So that's great. And here we are with him rolling a 6. Let's see what he gets. Okay, he's getting a house. Okay. So he's increased his cash flow a little bit from the house. And now our cash flow to income is 300,000 because we have the heating service, which gives us 10,000, and the 290 that we came in with. And the cash we have is 390,000 at this point. And notice how he's quickly now starting to catch up, but we basically escaped just before he would, get a chance. So we get a few extra rolls on the outer circle, giving us some advantage against this other player. Of course, he can come in and get lucky to hit the right spots early, but that's part of the game anyway. Notice how he just filled up. And he's out of the rat race. Notice he's out of the rat race with 250,000, so we have a better bankroll than him in our escape. Unfortunately, we're not catching any deals, just hitting these purple dream spots. The only dream spot we really care to hit is this one, and possibly this one because it increases his cost. And so here we have a 5. We lose all of our cash, $690,000 down the drain, because of a divorce in this game. Okay. So we have to get to this other cash flow in order to start getting anything anyway. This will give us 300,000 again. Since that's our cash flow day income. Alright, so now we got our 300,000 and we lose half of that, so we're at 150. Okay. Yeah, not good. Okay, there's our dream. Costs 125, we have 150, so we can buy it and we win the game. So you see how, getting close to the $300,000 mark helped us achieve this. If we had not done that, we might have fell short on the amount of cash needed to buy our dream at this point, and would have continued to play a little longer, hoping to win before he does. So this is how you beat the cash flow game. Hopefully you learned a lot from the different tricks and tactics that I applied while playing this game. And if you need to, you can review this video to learn something more. And enjoy, and hopefully this will help how you manage your finances in real life as well.